Hi, this is Vince, and today we'll look at important events circulating around the globe. First, let's go to the heart of human civilization, Europe. As of the 24th of September, the Germans will have their election, and I'm here to show and guide you the importance of this year's election to the world, but mainly Europe. Following vocabs that you'll hear throughout the whole presentation. Migrant, any person who changed his or her country of usual residence. Refugee, recognized as a person fleeing conflict or persecution on the basis on race, religion, national, member of a particular social group or political opinion. Asylum seeker, refers to a person who has applied for asylum but whose refugee status has not yet been determined. Xenophobic, having or showing a dislike of or prejudice against people from other countries, usually the head of the government in some European countries such as Germany. Eurozone, the group of European Union nations whose national currency is the euro. 19 of the countries use the euro as their official currency. Bundestag, the legislative branch of the German government based on Berlin. Germany's voters' requirement. In order to be able to vote for the election, you must be 18 years old or above, German national or people who live in the EU for at least 3 months. Note, this does not include the refugees or the migrants since they will be temporarily living in the country as long as they need to. The rule states that if the tension settles down in the place where the refugees came from, they should be able to return according to 1951 UN Refugee Convention. Prior to the voting day, you'll need your passport, voter's card, and proof of residency. According to Germany's Federal Statistics Office, there are 61.5 million eligible people to vote this year. 13.2 million of those voters comes from the western state of North Rhine-Westphalia, the largest numbers of eligible voters in the country. Germany's government. So there are 3 branches of the government in Germany: the executive, judicial, and legislative branch. The legislative branch is a branch of the government that makes laws. It consists of 2 parliaments called the Bundestag and the Bundesrat. The Bundestag is based in Berlin and the election happens every 4 years. The Bundestag consists of 598 seats. Think of it as a House of Representatives in US. Just like in Germany, they base the number of their representatives by population. This is an example of what the German ballot looks like. There were 2 considered votes in the German election, the first and second vote. The first vote, aka first past the post or Stimme in German, the voter can choose his or her favorite candidate to represent their district, state, and parliament, as shown on the left side of the ballot where it says candidate vote. The candidate who wins then will be automatically secured a slot in one of 299 constituencies. The second vote, aka proportional representation or Zeitstimme in German, this vote goes to a political party instead of going to an individual candidate in the parliament, as shown in the right side of the ballot where it says political party. This determines the percentage of each political party that goes in the Bundestag. In order to be able to enter the parliament, the political party must gain at least 5% of received votes in a state. The complicated part is when a person votes for a certain candidate but then votes for an entirely different party. This could affect the balance of seats in Bundestag, with one party having more representatives than they should be based on the results of the proportionate second votes. This then led to the creation of the overhangs and balance. They created this extra seat so that it would be fair for the other candidates who won the first vote to be guaranteed with a seat in the parliament while the political party are still proportionally represented. The newly elected Bundestag is responsible for voting the chancellor. In order for a chancellor to win, she or he must be able to receive absolute majority vote in the parliament. Germany's major political parties. First, Christian Democratic Union (CDU) and Christian Social Union (CSU). Their motto is "For a Germany in which we live in, well and gladly." Their platform focuses on business, work, and family. They plan to have 0% of employment rate by 2025, establish European Defense Union for protection of the EU's external borders, and support the immigrant in Germany. Germany currently has 5% of unemployment rate, which is impressive, and it's also the heart of EU. It has one of the most successful leading economy in the world, and the chairperson of the party is Angela Merkel, or she's currently the Chancellor of Germany. Chancellor Helmut Kohl is the key figure to the party's good reputation, since he led the reunification of East and West Germany in 1990. He taught Merkel, and he served for 16 years as Germany's Chancellor. The CDUs and CSU supporters are mostly senior citizens, churchgoers, and living the rural areas, especially in southern Germany. Second is the Alternative for Germany, or AfD. The candidates for this year's election are Alexander Gauland and Alice Whittle. They were originally founded in 2013 by a group of Eurosceptic academics against the Eurozone and the European single currency. They were known for their anti-immigrant and anti-Islam agenda, and the Migrant Crisis at its peak in 2015 made them successful for this year's election because of the issue the EU has been tackling on. They plan to close Germany's border from illegal immigrant entering Germany. Bernd Luke, the party's first leader, left the party because he thinks that the party has become increasingly more xenophobic. According to the party, they would ban foreign funding of mosques in Germany, ban the burqa or full body veil, and the Muslim call to prayer. They plan to leave EU and use Deutschmark instead of Euro if it fails to reform and continues to centralize. Their main supporters are mostly lower income earners and lower education levels. Third, Social Democratic Party, or SPD. Their motto is "It's time for more justice." Martin Schulz is this year's running candidate as a chancellor to the party, and he emphasizes more on social justice, tax redistribution, equality, and work, as well as European policy. They plan to secure the external borders of EU and quickly deport the failed asylum seekers. It was the oldest party in Germany's history, founded in 1875. Their main supporters are the working class or middle class. Fourth, the Free Democratic Party, or FDP. Christian Lindner is the chairperson of the party. Their motto is "A New Approach." The party is founded December of 1948, and their major platform focuses on education, digitization, and tax system. They wanted to establish EU border protection and EU army, as well as involvement of Germany into international politics. The open German election result. Statistics show that the CDU and CSU are leading with 33%, followed by the SPD with 20.5%, then the FAD with 12.6%, followed by FDP with 10.7%, then Left with 9.2%, and lastly the Greens with 8.9%. CDU and CSU lost 65 seats in the parliamentary, as well as the SPD losing 40 seats in the parliamentary, and the AfD gained 94 seats, while the FDP gained 80 seats, while the Green Greens gained 4 seats, and the left gained 5 seats. The AfD won partly because most net voters voted for them, supporting their plans. The first reason why far-right AfD in Germany made it to the Bundestag in the first place is its policy and platform against anti-immigrant. The migrant crisis in Europe is the largest migrant crisis ever in Europe's history in post-World War II. The Chancellor welcomed the refugees and migrants in Germany by the end of 2015. The country expected to have 100,000 migrants and total of 1.25 million by the start of 2016. It will spend $6.6 billion. By the end of 2017, there will be more than 3 million expected migrants to reach EU. The refugees are coming from the top 3 countries, with Syria at the top, followed by Afghanistan and Somalia. Syrians were forced to flee their country because of the ongoing civil war for its fifth. They lost their hope because the war doesn't seem to have an end. There are also waves of migrants coming from Democratic Republic of Congo, South Sudan, the Central African Republic, Ukraine, Iraq, Kosovo, and Libya. Most of these countries are located in Africa. They have been facing poverty and scarcity of resources, as well as conflict between the rebels and government. They usually cross the sea using boats to the Mediterranean Sea to reach Sicily. Kosovo and Ukraine are developing countries in Europe that are also facing poverty. Developing countries such as Lebanon, Jordan, and Turkey are sheltering 3.6 million refugees, and the international humanitarian funding is falling far short. In Europe, Italy, Malta, and Greece are the most popular stops for the migrants. As they arrive in Greece, they cross Macedonia and Serbia to Hungary and Germany. The Greek camps are also lacking of medical care, hot water and heating, and poor hygiene, as well as bad nutrition, according to the report by Amnesty International. The Visegrad countries, including Czech Republic, Hungary, Poland, and Slovakia, did not support the refugees' entrance to the EU. These countries only accepted bits of migrants, and one of their justifications is the protection of the Christian identity of Europe. According to Germany's Interior Ministry, there has been a dramatic increase in violence crime, including 4.3% rise in murder and manslaughter, a 12.7% in rape and sexual assault, and 9.9% increase in serious assault over the previous year. The figures showed that illegal immigrants, refugees, and asylum seekers committed 177,438 crimes, and there has been 52.7% increase in crime violence last year in 2016. Post-Brexit, the rise of populist party in Europe will make it harder for French President Emmanuel Macron and Chancellor Angela Merkel to set out their plans after Brexit. Mr. Macron set out plans for the European reform, like the protection of European countries, and turn existing Eurozone bailout fund into a kind of European monetary fund. Mrs. Merkel seemed to support him. Going back to the election, Merkel must create a coalition in order for her to win the absolute majority vote to be Germany's chancellor again. Note that there's also no limit to the number of terms a chancellor may be in office. In order to succeed, the running chancellor must create an alliance or coalition with other parties, because in order to win, he or she needs a majority vote. Angela Merkel, currently Chancellor of Germany, running for her fourth term, must create a coalition. It's called the Jamaica Coalition, that represents the colors of the Jamaican flag, with CDU, CSU color black forming an alliance with FDP color yellow.